So a narrative article actually narrates some incident or narrates an experience that the author has gone through. You should have a sound knowledge before you are going to write about something. You will not be able to identify your own mistakes. So you have to get it proofread by somebody else so that they will be able to identify the mistakes and your article can be published without any mistakes. Coherence means continuation. The thought process that flows, that should be continuous. Hello everyone. A warm welcome to all the young minds of Class 12 Cbse. I am Dr. Shalini, your English teacher at Prep School. So welcome to today's session. So today we are going to have a very interesting session about article writing, which is one of your writing skills. So let us see what is there in today's session and what we are going to understand. So there are various topics which we are going to understand in today's module. We are going to start with the definition first. Next, we will have kinds of articles. Then we will move on to know the format of article writing. We will also understand the tips and techniques that we have to follow while writing articles. Then at last, we will see a sample article. Okay, so why delay? Let us start our session. To begin with, we will start with the definition of article writing. So what is an article writing? What do you mean by that? Basically, we should understand what is an article first. Okay, so an article is actually a piece of writing which clarifies, that means it gives the readers an idea about what? The ideas, thoughts, facts, suggestions, all these it gives to the readers, and or recommendations means few inputs using which the readers can do something else. They can perform some actions, okay, some recommendation based on a particular topic. So an article is written about a particular topic. The reader can get inputs from that, suggestions, or maybe he can read that and decide upon something. So this is basically an article, and writing process is called as article writing. Okay, so now let us move on to the format of article writing. So before that, we need to understand something. So what is it? We need to understand the kinds of articles. Okay, so there are, the format for all these articles are the same. Okay, but there are different kinds of articles. At first, we need to understand what is an expository article. Okay, so there are these 5 types of articles. To begin with, we will start with this expository article. So expository article is an article that tells you about some information about something. Okay, it exposes maybe some of the facts regarding that topic, whatever the person is writing. Okay, so that is expository article. Okay, so then we have argumentative article. Suppose a topic is given and the person who is writing will write both for and against that topic. Okay, so both for and against will be included in the same article, wherein it will be like an argument. It will be more or less a debate kind of thing. Okay, so such articles are called as argumentative articles. Okay, so the third one is narrative article. A narrative article can be about maybe some trip that the person has gone, or maybe a must visit place or something like this. Okay, so a narrative article actually narrates some incident or narrates an experience that the author has gone through. Okay, so that is nothing but narrative article. Then we have descriptive article. Okay, narrative article sometimes in the form of dialogues also. Few dialogues can be included in between in order to show some conversation between the people. Okay, but descriptive article is only a description of some topic. Okay, for example, suppose a new product is being launched to the market. Okay, so that time descriptive article is what that is written. Okay, suppose a new car is being launched, so there will be a descriptive article that is written. Okay, so descriptive article purely describes a topic or describes a product or describes some process. That's it. It is only a description. Fine. So the decision will not be given by the author. The readers have to decide whether it is right or wrong, whether it should be done or not, whether it should be bought or not. So that way some decision will be given to the readers. Okay. So then we have this persuasive article. So persuasive, the word has been taken from the word persuade. Okay. So what is persuade? In order to push somebody towards something, that is called as persuading. Okay. I persuade somebody to study means that I forcefully make somebody to study, or I give them facts and ask them to study. So this way, persuading something means to push somebody towards your views. Okay. So that is persuasion, and the article which does this is called as a persuasive article. Okay. So maybe somebody wants to give a review about a product, and in the end the author wants to make sure that he persuades the readers in order to buy that product. Okay. So that way persuasive article can be written and it can be presented before the users. Okay. So this was just for your knowledge. That is the kinds of articles, actually it is just for your knowledge. If you understand the format of knowledge, that is enough. Okay. So these were the 5 different types of articles that are there in English. Okay. There are many more, but mainly categorized kinds are only these many. Okay. So now let us move on to the next part, that is the format of an article. This holds good for all types of articles. Okay. So for persuasive articles it is this much, for descriptive article it is this way. No, nothing like that. All articles are written in the same format. Fine. To begin with, the article, actually there are 3 parts that we have to concentrate. First one is the heading, next one is the byline, next is the body. Okay. So heading actually carries the topic of the article. Okay. So this has the topic of the article. So there you can just write it in one line. Okay. The topic of the article is written in one line. Okay. A catchy topic can be given. So you can choose the topic. Okay. You can give a title for that. Okay. So suppose you are writing about a new product to be launched. Suppose it is any beauty product or something. So something related to some title that is related to beauty or maybe wellness can be given as the title or the heading of that. Okay. So here is the topic of the article here. Okay. So next we have this byline. Okay. So this contains the name of the author. Okay, the person who has written this. So that person's name is carried in the byline. Okay, so by or byline. Okay, so next we have the body of the article. Here is where the actual crunch of the article lies. Okay, so the main content of article is there in the body of the article. Okay, so under this also we have 3 categories. The first one being the introduction. Okay, whenever I come to class, you have noticed that I introduce myself, isn't it? So similarly, whenever you write an article or whenever you write a letter also, you introduce something, right? You just don't begin the article just like that, isn't it? So introduction is very much essential in order to bring that topic to the table. Okay, so introduction, you just introduce that topic to the readers. Then we have the main content. Okay, so the actual facts and figures should be there in the main content. Okay, about what you are writing, regarding that you will have all the facts and figures, and if it is a descriptive article, you will go on describing in order. Okay, so if it is a persuasive article, you know how to persuade the reader. So you just need to take the facts and figures from the market and then you have to write it. Okay, so it depends on the manner in which it is written, but it is the main content. Okay, so the main content is what matters. So all the facts and figures and the persuasion towards the readers will be there in this part of the article. Okay, so at last we have the conclusion. Even writing for that matter I am talking about, like a letter or anything for that matter, an essay or anything, every place you have to see that there is a proper conclusion that is given. Okay, you cannot abruptly stop and leave it. Whenever I am moving out of the class also, I just give you a concluding dialogue and then leave from the class. I just don't say bye-bye and leave off from here. No, right? So a proper conclusion has to be given. There should be a clue to the readers that this article is going to end. There should be a clue to the viewers that this class is going to end. So that way there should be a proper conclusion, giving a clue to the readers that this article is going to end. Okay, so that comes under conclusion. Okay, since you are already used to letter writing and all, I do not want to dwell upon much on this. Okay, so we will see the tips and tricks and then we will move on to a sample article. Okay, so next part we are going to deal with is the tips and techniques that you have to follow in order to write an article. Okay, so the first thing we have to follow is, are you well aware of the topic? So first thing, you cannot just write about anything in the market, isn't it? You have to have sound knowledge about something what you're writing. Okay, suppose I'm going to launch a new product or some new product is launched in the market. Okay, so about that I want to write something. So I must be well aware of that product. Okay, suppose I'm buying a new cell phone. Okay, I want to write a review about some cell phone. I should be a user of that cell phone, so I am going to give a better review about that. I will be able to write in a better way about that. Okay, suppose I use some other two-wheeler and I'm going to write about some racing bike or something. I will not be able to write about it. That is because I am not a user of that bike. Okay, so second thing, even if you are not a user, you can do very well only if you have sound knowledge about it. Either you should read very well about that or you should be a practical user of that. Okay, so this way you should have a sound knowledge before you are going to write about something. Okay, so the second point you should be aware of is, why are you writing this article? Okay, why are you writing? What is the reason for you to write this article? Am I going to get it published somewhere, or am I going to just write it and keep it for myself, or am I going to write it and present it before in maybe a seminar or something? Okay, so why am I writing this article is very important. If I'm going to write it for myself, only for my happiness, if I'm writing, I write it in a different way. Okay, if I'm going to present it in a seminar, it is a different way, isn't it? The place where I'm going to present it, the place where it is going to reach actually matters for this point. So why you are writing this article has to be very important before you write it. Okay, so the third point we have to concentrate is, who is your audience? Okay, suppose I use all high vocabulary and give it to a second standard child to read the article, it is meaningless, isn't it? Suppose I write for a second standard child, the vocabulary that I have used is very less, and I give it to a person who is doing his masters, it is also meaningless. He will feel, why this article is too less for my caliber. Okay, so he feels that, isn't it? So first you have to decide who is your audience, before whom it will be presented. Okay, if you're going to a seminar, then is it before school children, is it for +1 +2 children, or is it for UG, or are you presenting it before the assistant professors and professors? So you should be very careful before whom you are presenting, so you will be able to use a better language whenever you are aware of who your audience is. Okay, so next we come to your language. You must always mind your language. You cannot just use the common words which you are using whenever you are presenting and whenever you are writing an article. Okay, you should be aware that your vocabulary makes sense. Okay, and it should be very much formal. You cannot just use informal language and write an article. Okay, yes, there is a blend that is trending nowadays, that is formal and informal, that is trending, but no, it should always be formal if it has to reach a wide audience. So make sure you mind your language. Please do not be offensive when you're using your language. Okay, do not use offensive words when you're using your language while writing an article. It should not hurt anybody's feelings. Okay, especially when you're writing something about religious matters or any sensitive issues, you must be very careful about your words. Okay, so mind your language whenever you're writing an article. Then we have maintain coherence. What is coherence? Coherence means continuation. The thought process that flows, that should be continuous. Suppose you are writing about new product, as I said, or maybe you're writing about some philosophy. Okay, so you have a definition, then you write about something else, then you write about God, then you all of a sudden write about man. There is no proper flow of thoughts. That means there is no coherence. There should be some connection between the first para and the second para. At the same time, there should be a connection between second and third para, so that transformation, that is the idea when you change it, okay, when you transform from one idea to another, there is no difference that can be noted. Okay, if you read few novels of Charles Dickens, you can understand that there is a lot of coherence. Okay, I'm just giving you an example. There are many more authors who are very good at writing. Okay, I'm just taking you to novels only because I wanted to give you an example of what is coherence. Okay, so you can read as A Christmas Carol or Oliver Twist or anything like that. Okay, so there you can see the coherence. Okay, so the thought process, when it flows, it is very smooth. Okay, so you don't feel the jerk, you don't feel that, oh, I didn't understand this place, let me go back and come from the beginning. No, you don't feel that. Okay, so the smooth flow of thought process, right? So that is called as coherence. So there should be a connection between the ideas whenever you change them. Okay, so then double check the data. So whenever you are presenting it before somebody, you must check the data if you are using facts and figures from the market. Okay, that is because you cannot just give some data and later on it turns out to be wrong, then the whole article will be chaos. Okay, so you should be very careful that you should present the data very properly and it should be factual. Okay, so that is another important thing you should note. Then we have keep the title and the description as short and catchy as possible. So article, no matter even if it is short, it should be actually qualitative. Okay, so the quality of the article should be very good, so that whenever people read it, they will remember the whole content. Okay, even if your article is small, people should be able to remember all the contents that are there. Okay, that is because the way you present it should be very crisp and clear. If the title is very catchy, means whenever people read the title, they feel that yes, I must read this article. Okay, so the title is what actually catches the attention of the reader. So title should be very catchy and the description what you give, that also should be very impressive. Okay, so then we have to edit and proofread before it is published. Suppose I am getting it published. Okay, so wherever there are mistakes, I should edit it and then proofread it again. Okay, so how much ever you are an expert in language, there will be one or two mistakes that will creep in. Okay, so better get it proofread by somebody else. Okay, you will not be able to identify your own mistakes, so you have to get it proofread by somebody else so that they will be able to identify the mistakes and your article can be published without any mistakes. Okay, so these are the things you should keep in mind whenever you are writing an article. Okay, so next to move on, we'll just have a look at a sample article. Okay, so sample article, here it is. The title is actually Recycle Your Trash. Okay, so Recycle Your Trash, it's a catchy title here, so that is what is the heading. Okay, so then we have who has written is the byline. Okay, who is the author of it, so that comes under the byline. Okay, so then we have the three different categories. The first one being the introductory paragraph. So I'm going to introduce my topic here. Okay, so with developments in science and technology, we have done immense damage to our planet. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the damage of my planet, and I'm going to talk about recycling. Okay, so recycling is the need of the hour if humans aspire for a healthy life. So I'm introducing my topic that it is recycling and I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so yes, an article cannot be so small, but I'm giving you just an example how to introduce it, how to give the content and how to write the conclusion paragraph. Okay, so here we can, now I come to the main information, that is the main content of article is over here. Okay, we all can recycle our waste instead of simply trashing it. And it does not require rocket science to do that. So I'm talking about recycling actually. Okay, so that is my topic and the main crust is here. Okay, so the main content is here. We can recycle tin cans into pen holders, water bottles to PET bottles. So I'm giving ideas of recycling here. Okay, and tires into potted plants. So recycling can be good craft for young students to enhance their creativity and imagination. Instead of trashing electronics, donate them or recycle their parts. So these are the ideas I'm giving to recycle. Okay, yes, this can be expanded. This can be taken up to 3 or 4 paragraphs. Okay, since it is just an example, I have cut it short. Okay, so at last we have the ending paragraph, that is the conclusion. Okay, so such simple and small steps make a big difference. It may yield fruitful and positive changes for our environment. So here you can notice that I have not written anything about recycling. I'm just talking about recycling. I'm not giving the tips and techniques for recycling. Okay, so I'm concluding this article over here. Okay, so for our environment by relieving the load of the reserves of our renewable resources as well. So Earth is our planet, only we need to make efforts to save it. So recycling helps in saving Earth. That is what is the conclusion. Okay, so I'm giving a clue that this article is going to end. Okay, so this is the way in which you have to write an article. Okay, so yes, this being an example, that is a sample article. I'll be giving you more examples when we come to this live classes. Okay, so what I suggest you is, please be ready with 1 or 2 topics wherein we can discuss and we can know how to write the articles. Okay, so that's all about article writing. So let us meet again in one more interesting topic from your Flamingo. Okay, so we'll start discussing about the prose part. Okay, so let us meet again. Till then, keep learning. Please come with your book and a pencil for your doubts to be clarified immediately. So let us meet again very shortly with another more interesting session. Take care, keep learning. See you soon. Till then, bye-bye.